Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Yeah, during my foray into getting into Mobile Suit Gundam, specifically Universal Century, I've come across sometimes seeing MSV associated with a mobile suit that I didn't even see in an anime or a video game, or sometimes I'll see a mobile suit in a video game and it tells me it's from MSV, and I'm like, what is that even? Well, that's actually mobile suit variation, and for today's video, we're going to dive into what MSV actually is. Hey, but before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe and check the links in the description for ways you can support the channel, or just join our Discord. It's a lot of fun. We talk Gunpla, Gundam lore, all that stuff. But let's get started. All right, when I first came across MSV from when I would be playing Gundam Battle Operation 2, and there's, the hundreds of mobile suits there that are listed, and under explanation, you can kind of get details on that mobile suit, where it's from, because some are pretty interesting, and I kind of want to see, what anime I could watch them in or whatever. But we say MSV, and I'm like, what is that? So that's mobile suit variation, and it's kind of basically a collection of extra mobile suits just made for fun that could then be possibly used in other anime. This specific MSV is from mobile suits that they've created for the 1 Year War. All right, Mobile Suit Variation, abbreviated as MSV, is a design series for Mobile Suit Gundam and its compilation movies. MSV features variations of mobile suits during the 1 Year War. These are official designs and included detailed histories, and in many cases even have detailed backstories given for their pilots. Some were meant for a canceled original series in 1983, and a few were even originally intended to appear in Mobile Suit Gundam, but their appearances were cut due to storyline alterations. While rarely seen in their own animation series, most of the MS models, as well as the backstories and pilots created for them, are considered canonical, and a few were later seen in other side stories, manga, or video games. In a few cases, MSV designs even made brief appearances in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta, and Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. All right, and from the wiki, there's a whole list of the mobile suits that were featured in these works that were released as books, resources, to kind of get a look at the drawings. And looking here at the Internet Archive, we even see MSV Mobile Suit Variation Handbook 1. I'm assuming these can still probably be available to purchase. Oh, that's pretty cool. MS Emblem Collection. Oh, here we go. Here we go to those, the drawings we're used to from, the original series 1 Year War, kind of in that cool style. Wow, look at all this. Just different variations, obviously, of these mobile suits, from, Zeonic designs, to even Federation stuff. We can see here the ball, and that has a cockpit reminiscent of a TIE Fighter. That tank looks pretty badass, actually. So again, there's a whole list of Federation and Zeon mobile suits that would have been part of the 1 Year War, just not in any anime or anything. And, it's just really cool to see that after Mobile Suit Gundam got popular, they decided to even come out with MSV just to have all these other variations. And, this is around 1983, the collection that was put together. So it's really cool that early in the life of Gundam were they already creating all these variations. And what's even cooler is if, unlike me, you were around then and capable of building model kits, that they kept releasing these model kits based on MSV. So like starting in April of 1983, we have a Zaku 2 high mobility test type. Also in April, a Zaku cannon. They just keep coming out multiple a month, pretty much. We're getting July 1983, the FA-781 Gundam Full Armor type. In August, that's actually when I was born, August 1983, Zaku Recon, so that's pretty cool. And I gotta say, I love the artwork. Maybe it's kind of that retro throwback look to it, but the artwork looks really cool. But just the fact that back at that time, before even Zeta Gundam, that they had all these badass mobile suit designs already in the making. And I guess from this line, it looks like the last couple we have Johnny Raiden, I think, Zaku 2, September 1984, and the Perfect Gundam, December of 1984. So, man, I could have been into Gunpla as an adult or whatever back in the early 80s and still have plenty to build. That's pretty cool. And then some notes and trivia. The MSV concept would be repeated on a more limited scale for all the anime up until Victory Gundam mobile suit variations, with both the number of designs and the detail of their backstory significantly reduced. In addition, Kunio Okawara Collection, known in universe as Missing Mobile Suit Variations, or MMSV, which is similar to the MSV concept but spans from the One-Year War through the Grips War. It was not until Mobile Suit Gundam Seed MSV, the first for an alternate universe series, that the original MSV formula with detailed backstories and pilots was duplicated. Okay, so we see from this just normal MSV, that is Kunio Okawara's designs through the One-Year War. But there's an additional one, Missing MSV, that actually goes through the Grips War, so maybe I'll cover that later. All right, so here are my top 5 favorite designs from MSV. Number 5 is actually going to go to a atmospheric fighter, the Saberfish. Big fan of, space flight vehicles. I think this is a really cool design. I really like that. Alongside the mobile suits, they were still designing these space flight things, and you can even see what it looks like in Origin. Very cool. I kind of like that updated design, but it keeps kind of that same look. All right, number 4, maybe, and I don't know if these are in order, but the GM Sniper Custom. I think this thing looks badass. There's even a Robot Spirits version of this that I need to grab. But it just looks cool. It just looks like a bit of a beefier GM. It's cool that it's a sniper. This also gives me the GM Spartan vibes. Very similar to the look of the Master Chief design, especially with the color. Next up, the RX-78-3 Gundam G3. Yeah, it's just the Gundam, but with those badass G3 colors on it. I think that's just a really cool look. I just can't imagine back then being into Gundam. And while we got that colorful red, white, and yellow Gundam, they actually released one that looks like this. That looks like, colors you'd see maybe on a jet fighter or something. Looks awesome. And then the Goof Flight Test Type. I think this is a very cool one. Actually, you can click on MSV colors here. Yeah, and this has a lot more of muted colors, a detailed look, has real type markings on it. Very cool because we get sort of the similar thing going on. I think it was 08th MS Team. They had the flight type goof that showed up near the end. And then also, there's that recent Robot Spirits release coming out of the flight type. So, cool to see this type of variation done so early. And I think my top favorite design is the Saikamu Test High Mobility Type Zaku. Now, the standard colors is what they use as default on the wiki, but you can click on MSV colors. And it looks awesome. Again, it has more of that, the muted colors, the real-world markings, real-type markings going on there. I love the thruster look. Actually, I have the Robot Spirits version right here with me. Let's see if I can get that on camera. And it looks just like it. I mean, that one has a little bit more, I guess if I was to panel line this, even though it's a Robot Spirits, but you can do that, it would probably have more of that detailed look we are seeing out of the original design. But man, for 1983, that's an awesome design. Now, when it comes to other resources that have mobile suit variations, it looks like there's a lot to go through. MSX, Z, MSV, Double Zeta, MSV. I mean, it goes on and on. I would love to actually touch on these in future videos and actually grab my top 5. And in fact, on this video, in the comments, list your top 5. I would like to actually do a video and see what, in general, people find to be their favorite variable mobile suits that came out of the MSV. It's just really cool that they have all these different mobile suits that they created. And I'll link to the Internet Archive down in the description because I think it is cool that this is available to view just to see the designs and the artwork they were coming up with back then. Anyway, so that's it. Just a quick little look at MSV. I've always been fascinated when I would see a mobile suit and where it came from, and then MSV is always popping up. But it's kind of good to understand that it's some sources created back in 1983 to include some variations that were based on concepts to be in the anime, and just some extra cool mobile suits just to add in. And another thing to think about is when you look at the lore of these mobile suits, they are trying to explain canonically how they're connected, the evolution of the designs. And I really love that aspect because then we're seeing now in the future how they can add these suits into future UC Gundam, tie it back to where it came from. Just, for the nerds that like me that love that type of stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you thought it was cool and subscribe if you haven't. But until then, we'll talk later.